Yo, Elliot. Got a really good, interesting question from our buddy Silly Rabbit 523. He essentially goes on to say that even though Elliott Hulse says that you got to lift heavy in order to get stronger and lift with more reps to build muscle, and that the two aren't necessarily seems like they're mutually exclusive, I seem to be getting stronger with 4 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12, so on and so forth. So how could it be true? How could you be telling us the truth, Mr. Hulse, if I'm getting stronger following these parameters? So I love the question because it calls into play this idea of relativity, right? And your muscle is completely objective about what type of stimulus you're laying on it, right? It doesn't know that there's 315 pounds on the bar. It just knows that I have to work at a particular rate in order to move this stimulus, to move this resistance, right? All it understands is work. There's different types of work, but all it understands is work. So you could just as well build incredible strength with light weights, granted that you drive, this is why I always talk about the nervous system. Use your nervous system to drive a lot of tension. I mean, I can get stronger just flexing. Damn! Right? I'm feeling like I just pressed 275, 315, 405, right? My body doesn't know the difference. My body, my nervous system and my muscular system have just received that stimulus. I could have had fucking pencils in my hand. It doesn't know the difference, right? So when Elliott Hulse says that you've got to go heavy, it really means that you've got to stimulate your nervous system in such a way that it has to produce a massive amount of force that recruits lots of muscle fibers, right? These little cells, right? Your nervous system drives itself into little cells. If you can imagine like an electric system, right? In your home. And your muscles are light bulbs, right? So there could be switches for each one of the light bulbs, and you can go in there and you can flip like pop, 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 10 switches. Meanwhile, there are like 50 of them. So you're turning on 10 muscles, right? So 10 of those light bulbs, 10 of your muscle fibers, right? Let's use 50 as our number. Nice round number. So the stimulus is not great enough to produce any type of response, right? The nervous system is barely taxed. There's all these light bulbs that aren't turned on, right? But let's say you go and you go pop, 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 and you turn on all 50 of them. Big bright light, now something's happening. Same thing with your muscular system and your nervous system. You want to take your electric generator, right? Your central nervous system, and cause it to extend its energy out into your peripheral nervous system at such a rate that it turns on all the light bulbs in your body, right? Or in the muscle that you're trying to train. So you can take a light weight and you can squeeze so tight and you can go so slow through the full range of motion that you'll get stronger than a dude who's got, several pounds more than that, but he's just not doing it the right way. He's not producing the amount of force, right? So if he doesn't, he won't move the weight. Or somebody who's got a light weight where they're doing lots of reps, but they're not stimulating the nervous system and the musculoskeletal system in such a way that it turns on a lot of the lights. So I'm wrong, right? You could say that Elliott Hulse is wrong. You can get stronger without lifting with those heavy weights, and it to be true, I am wrong. It's just that we have to sometimes take positions in order to get points across. That's why honestly, I'm not a Nazi for any of these ideas. I'm not a zealot for any one particular idea, because they're all relative. It all depends, The twins like to say, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Well, it's a crude way of saying, honestly, there are multiple ways to do this. I'm sharing my experience and some of the knowledge that I've gained. So keep doing what you're doing. Apparently it's working for you. You may be doing it. Now you could give your prescription, and this is where we get all fucked up with all types of philosophies and religions. And Weight training is one of those, fitness is one of those things, you know? Where you say, this is the only way. This is it, this is the only way. And then you start prescribing that way for everyone and saying everyone needs to do this. So you go ahead and you say, Elliott Hulse is wrong. 4 sets of 10 is better for strength. A, be careful. It worked for you. You're you're predisposed to the ability to have that happen. Your environment may be different. The way you're doing it may be different. So don't go telling people this is the one and only way to make this shit happen, okay? Very rarely will you hear me say something like that. And if you watch closely, I'm always contradicting myself because it's bullshit. There isn't just one way. So that's it, bro. Good luck. Thanks for the great question. Talk to you next time. Yo, Elliott.